We would like to thank CarryFit for sponsoring our first season of the Baby Wearing podcast. CarryFit is not just a carrier, but a whole parenting support package. Get the carrier designed to help you and your baby bond and move together your way. Also, get access to the CarryFit app, which includes postnatal support and baby wearing, core and pelvic floor, sleep, fitness, and so much more. Check out CarryFit and all they offer at www.getcarryfit.com. You can also use our code CoorieCarry for a discount when you buy.
Hello and welcome to the Coorie In and Carry On podcast. I'm Gemma
I'm Laurna.
and we're here to help you do all the lovely carrying things that we do. So, welcome.
And
Hello,
blather
hello.
about them for a while.
Yes, we love a bit of carrying chat. Before we get into anything else, big thank you to CarryFit, who are our sponsor today. And as always, check the show notes. You'll get a 10% discount code if you want to purchase one. So, Laurna, tell us a bit about what's happening today.
Today we have, I don't know where she is on the screen for you, but we have the lovely Samantha from Tully Slings with us. And this episode is all about plus size baby wearing. So we thought who best to chat about with it and give us all the lowdown than yourself. So Sam, tell us about you and what you do and what you offer.
Oh, well, just like yourselves, I'm a baby wearing consultant doing the whole one-on-one giving out advice, sling hire, and everything that comes with it. You go into this thinking you're teaching people how to carry, and you end up being a shoulder to cry on and walking somebody's dog and everything else.
That's definitely going the extra mile.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, if people don't know who you are getting your name quite known for plus size baby wearing and making it inclusive, and you do a lot of reviews and showing how different carriers fit and work with your body shape, which is really great with people that are a similar size and shape that can see how things work. So let's chat about carriers and what's the difference with what do you look for in a carrier for yourself first, and then what do you look for?
For me, it's the same as everybody. You're looking for something that's comfortable, that's comfortable and safe. Those are safety first, obviously, but very close to that comes comfort. If it's not safe, it's not comfortable, it's certainly not going to work.
Yep.
But you've got your safety, your comfort, and coming in with the comfort is, does it actually fit?
Yeah.
Because if it
Yeah.
doesn't fit, and it's like yourselves, especially with slings not being in the high street, it's like trying to shop online. You look at a dress or a top and you think, is that actually going to fit me?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and then it's the whole, oh, well, I'm a size 18 in this shop and a size 20 in this shop and a size 4 and it makes no sense. So
They should be colors. I think it should be colors.
just
And
do
then
inches or centimeters like a normal person.
yeah. Just measure around. Will this fit? Yes? No. Right, I'll try it. Just, yeah,
Aye.
so much easier. Yeah. Because as well, a lot of things may say that they're suitable for plus size bodies, but they're not, because bodies, as we know, are all different shapes and sizes. So a certain size on a body can be, everyone carries weight in different places, so it can fit differently completely on each body as well. What are the common struggles that you see with plus size bodies and parents coming for support?
cross straps is the big one.
Mm.
Finding a carrier, especially if you have got a large chest, trying to find cross straps that will not only meet and buckle, but do so comfortably so as not to put pressure on breast tissue, especially if breastfeeding is at play or it's a very young baby and the breasts are functioning with milk, even if they're not choosing to breastfeed. Because if you've got pressure, you're running risks of blocked ducts, mastitis, and all that other
Yeah,
fun stuff.
definitely.
Yeah, I think it's tricky because like you say, when you're a bigger person and then you've got a big bust on top of that, it sort of compounds the issue, doesn't it? So if you've got a big if you've got a big person who happens to be flat chested, that's one size and shape that you're fitting, but then adding breast tissue on top of that, whole different ballgame.
It is just absolutely, yeah. And I have found there's some brands of carriers that I can get on and I can
Hmm.
just about get them done up. But you're
Hmm.
thinking, whilst I can get this done up, it's not going to be comfortable after 2 or 3 minutes. And I'm also running the risk of, actually, I'm no longer running the risk of blocked ducts because my little man weaned a week ago.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness. That's a
So
big
oh,
change for you.
we've got all the hormones going on with that as well, and this whole
yeah,
identity crisis because who am I if I'm not breastfeeding?
Oh, it's so
I
weird,
know.
isn't it?
I think
Yeah.
it's something that we don't kind of talk about. It's a kind of mourning that period of your life, isn't it? Especially if you've been doing it for quite a while. It's kind
Because
of
your
like,
whole life does revolve around it,
Yeah.
yeah,
especially in those
are the
early
boobs close
days.
enough? Can they be can they be accessible at any moment?
Can I feed in this carrier?
Yeah.
Yes,
You
And
know,
then
exactly.
how do you get them to sleep when they stop breastfeeding? Honestly,
I
it's
know.
up until 4 weeks ago, he fed to sleep.
oh
Oh,
And then one day he just suddenly decided that he was happy to go into the bed himself, listen to a story, and go to sleep. So
oh.
he's completely led the way, you know.
But that's
Where
nice. It's like it's sad, but it's nice. And as well, you
he
don't
was
know the
ready.
end. Yeah.
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 I
Well,
do find I did
go on,
find
you
it
go.
easier when my kids self-weaned than having to do weaning, I think, because it it didn't mean that I was like, well, no, we're not having them now. Even if I was completely sensory overload, please don't touch me.
Hmm.
Um, so while I don't miss breastfeeding and the whole please stop touching me, my body is not yours, it is mine, I do miss
It's fine.
I do miss the ease and the comfort and the sort of soothing element of it for the kid. But also my daughter's nearly 6, so the fact that she only stopped last year, so just before she turned 5, I was like, we're done. I'm so glad we're done.
Yeah.
But
I love how we've on trend. We have gone off tangent as
yeah,
usual.
it's very
It
on
was
We will.
bound
point
to
for us.
happen.
It's very, yeah, it's on trend with us. But we will come back. I think we should get everyone in and we'll all have a mega like breastfeeding chat. Yeah, because definitely that's definitely one of the topics we have got
But
to talk about anyway.
talking about just while we're talking about breastfeeding and being plus size, again, one of the bras that I enjoy are Molk. I don't know if you like them, so oh, we're all rocking it today. We're all rocking it. Um,
I'm not.
you're
I've got Wild Mode, which is another Scottish
traitor.
brand. It's another Scottish brand though, but they are good as well.
Yeah, well, that's okay then. But again, I like the way that they size their bras because it's very, you're the size you are for us. Again, frustrating that nobody else sizes their way, but
Yep. It's like
it's
super mega cosmic. I'm a
yeah.
cosmic. I love
I'm a mega. It's
it.
But the joys
Catherine,
of
I absolutely
being
love that. I'm like, can I have a mega, please? Keep these chebs in place.
the joys of my body shape, um, it's like I look at an awful lot of these adverts. I've started to use plus size people, which is fantastic. I absolutely love seeing it. But my
Hmm.
body shape is so completely different to these people.
yeah.
It's the measurements for mold. If you stand upright, what does your
Hmm.
and I'm like, are we measuring it or at our kneecaps
Yeah.
or belly button? You know,
Do we lift and measure first?
yeah. It's the same with
Oh,
boob and bust. And if you lean forward, and I'm like, if I lean forward, and it doesn't
Top
work.
heavy and a fall over.
honestly, I saw a TikTok and it was this guy and he was like, the way to a woman's heart is just above her nipple if you use an arrow. And I was like, my nipples are like so low down, you would take out my kneecaps. Like, I've been breastfeeding for that long. Um, but yeah, I do think it's interesting when you look at plus size bodies and just the shape of us.
Hmm.
Um, and again, what constitutes plus size? I mean,
Yeah.
more and more people are sort of a 16 to 18 now, which would previously back in the day when I was a youth, that was really big. But now
Yeah.
it's more sort of average and
Average.
yeah.
Mm.
So I mean, for me, plus size would be up above maybe a 22. I would consider that plus size. Anything else would be sort of higher end of mid kind of deal.
Mm.
What would you say, Samantha?
I was actually in a shop the other day and I was standing, the way you hook through the rack for clothes. And I came across an XL and I thought, I wonder what size an XL relates to. And an extra large is a size 12, a UK
What?
12. And I'm
What?
looking at this going, well, there goes everybody's mental health.
Yeah. Like, who
What?
Can
makes
you
up these
imagine
sizes?
walking into a shop as a size 10 and being a large?
Mm.
And
I
it's like,
remember I remember like in my early 20s when I was probably like up here was not doing good, but down here was the kind of smallest that I'd been. And I went into one shop and I got a pair of jeans and a t-shirt at size 8. And I went into another shop and had to buy a size 18. And I was like, who the hell makes up these sizes? These clothes both fit me perfectly. One would make me feel like I'm having a great day, and the other, then I would be like, well, what's going on? So it's sizes are just absolute crap. And that goes to carriers as well. So
Yeah.
what something says, I've seen some carriers say that they're suitable for plus size, but yes, you may be able to get on with a newborn or a small baby. But what happens when that baby grows? I think I've seen a video of you, I can't remember what it was, but you had a doll in it and you managed to fit it, and then you tried it with your wee one, and obviously a lot bigger, toddler size, and there was just no way it was going to work. So that's something that's not thought of as well. Like if you're buying a carrier that's maybe going to be suitable last, is it actually going to last as your child grows when your body is plus size already?
exactly. And another thing we have to put into this is carriers are handmade. And you'll have seen yourselves, you'll have two slings in your library, say Tula, for example, and there will be maybe 6 or 8 inches difference
Mm.
in the waist strap
Mm.
or the shoulder straps. There can be such a variance between the same model of carrier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And some brands are maybe a little bit worse for it than others.
Hmm.
And I've had a case where mum came along, hired a sling, fit her absolutely perfectly, ordered from the manufacturer, and couldn't get into it.
Oh, that's brutal.
It
See, that's so
absolutely
hard.
brutal. And the thing is, the sling that she had hired, she had loads and loads of room in.
Yeah.
Did you go back to the brand? I hope you kind of gave them feedback and be like, who's measuring these straps? They should all be,
Yeah,
if a brand's manufacturing, they should be like, right, this strap is this many inches long. Everyone has to be the same size. It's not hard to measure it, double measure it, and then stitch it in. It's
Mm.
how are they getting that much of a difference?
exactly. I used the one by Azara whenever
Mm-hmm.
Scapple was tiny. It was our go-to carrier when we weren't using wovens, and it was it was great. I had maybe 30 odd centimeters slack within the waistband. I also ordered a half buckle at the same time. And when I finally get it out to play, I'm not even joking when I say that the spare webbing I could bring around my back, around my front, and tuck under again. So we've gone from
God.
30 centimeters to a strap that was, I think the measurement on it was well over 2.2 meters.
God.
It was
But
absolutely
that's like taking the mick, isn't it?
mustard.
It's like that's not inclusive. That's just ridiculous. That's just wastage as well because the
You
cost
ought
for
to see my
that
husband
webbing
wear it. It's
that
comical.
nobody's going to use. What was it we were talking about recently? The Lenny hip has got the
Yeah.
most ridiculous amount of webbing that I've ever seen on a carrier.
Yeah. It's
And,
don't
and we're
know.
not talking about the shoulder and ridiculousness there either.
Well, well.
Well, apparently, I just heard from another consultant. Apparently, the shoulder has been adjusted, so we'll have to.
waiting for that.
I tried it. I tried it in Belgium. It's not that massive a difference.
That's unfortunate because
I wouldn't say.
I really like the Lenny hip. I just would like less webbing because the sheer volume of webbing is overwhelming. And I don't
I
feel
would
like
like
it's
a
inclusive.
wider fabric shoulder rather
I
than
would
like
like
the
a less
stretchy.
stretchy. Yeah.
Yes,
Leggings.
yeah,
It's like leggings material and
Aye.
it rolls. Yeah.
yeah.
It's the
Like
rolling, the way my shoulders are shaped, it just doesn't work.
yeah, that like fleecy kind of fabric that's stretchy. I think I would like something that's like the matching. So, say if you had the rainbow dinos, like I've got the matching rainbow dinos as a pleated shoulder, like as a fan out, that would sit a lot better because then you'd spread it more on your shoulder. And I think the fabric you would
Maybe.
have that kind of friction on your clothing, which would sit better than that kind of fleecy softy.
Possibly.
Fleecy softy, my
Email Lenny and
official
tell him.
wording. I
But yeah,
might. I might.
so
They
because
might.
again,
Oh, if they listen to this, Lenny, if you're listening, we do love you. We do
we
love
do
your
love you,
carriers.
Lenny.
It's constructive feedback from
We love you.
consultants. We do love
But
you.
again, we have went off piste. So
I know. I'm
let's
just trying to catch up with the notes.
let's return. So I was actually going to
Always
say
happens.
because one of the things that I really dislike as somebody who's got a bit more cushion for the pushing, as the kids say. I don't know if the kids do say that anymore. Maybe that's sure. Well, the kids said it when I was a kid. But I really hate a padded waist belt. Because I feel like so many of them are so stiff that I can't, with my extra foldy bits, I feel like it doesn't sit right. I think they're intended for flat stomachs. They're not intended for anything with a bit of landscaping. So, what would your thoughts on sort of padded waist belts versus, for example, my personal favorite is an apron style because there is so little padding involved.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to figure what height are you, Gemma?
I'm 5'6".
Okay, so you've got a couple of inches on me. So, yes.
And me.
Well, I'm basically a giant over here.
You have to duck going through a door.
Personally, with everything else going on with the fibro and the mild form of spina bifida, apron carriers and me do not mix.
Fair.
They just don't work for me. But it's quite ironic because the Connecta is one of my most recommended carriers because it does work for so many people.
Mm-hmm.
People who are after that pack down small
Yep.
is absolutely great. But for me, it just does not work. My favorite carrier, especially with my third child, was one of the early Tullas.
Right.
Now we're talking
The standard.
2023, the standard. But there's a difference between my 2023 standard and a now standard.
Aye.
The padding on the waist is totally different, totally and utterly different. It fits completely differently.
I find it really stiff.
I love it. Whereas you, I'm guessing, Gemma, don't.
It's not for me. The Tula's not my carrier, and like I love it for the people it works for, but for me, it is a sensory nightmare. I hate every inch of it on my body. But it works so well for so many people, and I've had so many clients have success with it.
It's what works for one doesn't work for another.
Why we have so many.
It is exactly why we have so many. But I kind of, with having Scappa and going through wearing more and more and more, I don't use a pram. So I now have a whole load of slings at my disposal.
And that is why you have a library.
My library.
That's always how it starts. Always.
Aye.
When I started with Orkney Sling Library back in, my goodness, 2015, it was, I had a fair whack of slings, but not quite as many as I have now. There weren't the same number of slings available even as there are now. We're getting so many more releases. But
do you think more of the carriers now are more inclusive size-wise?
Definitely. It's not just carriers though, it's woven wraps as well, and even stretchies. Lift
Yeah.
are now doing the longer size stretchy. They have always done the regular and the short. We're now into they're offering a longer size for plus size people, which is absolutely great. But I can remember trying to get a size 8 OSHA was just, you remember what the craze was like, you know, back in the day. I know that
Back in
you've
the
got,
day.
yeah, I know you've got blue iced roses as well. I can remember that was the first wrap I fell for. And I can remember hitting refresh constantly. Bearing in mind we were in Orkney and the internet was run by
It's worse than
hamsters.
me.
It was just, it was dire. It was worse than dial-up, put it that way. And to get
Showing
a
your age
size
there.
8, to get a size 8 now can be tricky, but to get a size 8 13 years ago was
I
just
think as well,
next to impossible.
yeah, there's quite a few brands that do like I 8 is in their standard sizing that they'll offer now, which is quite good. Like I know Osha,
9s as well are starting to come in as being
yeah,
within the
and it's
standard range.
and a lot of brands are open to doing bigger sizes as well on request if
Yeah.
someone is requesting it.
I'm sure
I
I
don't
saw OSHA
think
did a 10. Yeah.
did they?
For
I was
like
just going to say I don't
pre-orders.
think yeah. Aye, it
It
would
was on a
have to be a
pre-order basis.
pre-order.
Yeah.
I would
And
love to
that's
get a size 10 just to wrap up in. That would be the best blanket. You know, like Lenny Kravitz with a big scarf. Imagine using a size 10 and then like, ooh, big scarf.
I
it's bad enough with
actually
an
have
8.
a photo of me somewhere. I was testing a size 10 and
Amazing.
the toddler demo doll on my back, the wheelie bin. I was taking the wheelie bin up to the road and I had the toddler demo doll. And when I say up to the road, we live down a country lane. It's a half-kilometre walk to the road with the wheelie bin. So it's a fair idea to test the sling of how well it works because it is a good 20-minute walk with wheelie bin. And I had a double hammock with a fancy finish. And because it was one of Minneapolis, it was muslin. It was dyed by the Rogue Unicorn. It's so thin and a size 10. It's longer than a standard 10 would be, if you see what I mean, because it's so thin and it wraps so tightly.
Yeah.
And I done my fancy finish with my double hammock and I had tails for days. And I wrapped them round and round. And I'm thinking, there's people driving. By the time I've got up to the hard shoulder, there's people driving past and they're thinking, what is that woman doing?
I think we need to see proof for this later on.
I did actually post it up. And it's like me with the wheelie bin and the toddler demo doll. But the size 10, it just goes on and it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I think for anybody listening who doesn't understand why we can't just offer 9s and 10s as standard, it's because they are really rarely requested. And when fabric is cut, it's cut in twos, so you always make two of the fabric. Because OSHA had to explain this as to why they couldn't just have like a pile of 10s lying about.
It's like along the middle as well, isn't it? And then
Yeah. It's to do with how they cut the fabric and the way the fabric is worked. And they can't just, it's really hard if you take like a 10, you don't get 2 5s if you take a 10 and cut it in half. So it's more like you get 2 4s, long 4s-ish. So for anybody listening who's just like, well, why can't they just have a stash of them? It's, again, these are small companies, usually family companies, and it's to do with,
and
they have to do with what sells.
Yeah.
But that's why pre-ordering can be great because then you can order that extra length. It would be great though to see more longer slings available as standard. It's just, I think it's to do a lot with just the lack of money within the industry, really.
I appreciate that. I really, really do appreciate that. But again, as a plus size person, and there's some brands do offer the 8s and 9s. But I was looking the other day, I can't even remember what company it was, and they stopped at a 7. And I'm like, I can carry with a 7. It's fine, I can tweak it, but
yeah,
I want a 9.
Yeah, you don't want to have to make it work. You want something that's going to be comfortable for you, that you don't
Yeah,
have to be like, I have to get this right or it's not going to work.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
Hmm.
think as well, I know for me, like when it comes to clothes, I get really stressed shopping because I'm just like, I can't go into a shop because they won't have clothes in my size. And I get really stressed with that. And it makes me feel like there's something inherently wrong with me that I can't just go in and buy a pair of jeans off the rack. Um, and it kind of distresses me that we might have families who want to carry, but they're going, well, I just won't fit in a carrier.
Hmm.
And, it shouldn't be the stage where you're going, oh, well, because of your size, you can only do a ruck. No double hammocks for you. And you can only have a Tula, no ergo for you. Do you know? So
Mm.
it's frustrating that we can't, even on special order, say to some people, well, we could request that with longer webbing for you. Do you know? It's it would be nice if the options were more easily available.
Hmm.
and
More as
publicized.
standard.
What were you
Hmm.
saying, Sam?
And publicized because I tried, I have a Lenny preschool,
Hmm.
and it's neat. It's
Mm.
neat with the cross straps, and it was at the point of, if he hadn't fed, it could be a little bit tricky.
Hmm.
And he was only 2 at the time, and it's like,
Mm.
give it another 2 years. If I'm doing this in a front carry for whatever reason, this just isn't going to work.
Hmm.
And I was talking to another, I think it's not a manufacturer, a stockist in the States, and they said, but sure, you can just ask them for longer webbing and they'll do it. And I'm like, no. And they're like, no, really? We do special orders all the time. I'm like, why has nobody told me this?
Hmm.
Why isn't
Yeah.
this public knowledge?
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. They should, if they do something as an extra, you should, how are people supposed to know if they don't tell us?
Exactly.
Because not everyone will have the confidence to go back to a brand or be like, oh, can you make this a bit bigger for me? That's not something that people want to ask. And I know
No.
that many people would feel shame and being like, oh, okay, it doesn't fit, then I'll just have to, it's not for me. And then they'll
Hmm.
give up. And that's such a shame that would be the end of their carrying journey when it doesn't need to be.
That's actually more or less what happened to me.
All
I
right.
don't know if you've heard, when my eldest was born, we're talking 2011. Baby wearing wasn't the thing it is now,
No, it was not.
it really wasn't. You walk down the street and people looked at you, and it
It's
was
like, what's
not,
that?
yeah, it was not the done thing. But I'd researched with my history as well, with being an anthropologist. It was, yep, this is what I want to do. We
Mhm.
want to keep her close. We want to just, connect with her.
Hmm.
And I ordered a stretchy, and yeah, that was a disaster, a complete and utter disaster. And I decided, I went out and I bought an ergo. We went to a local, well, she was an hour away. We drove an hour. We found the ergo, and to this day, I still love that carrier. Or Ergo Original in
Yes.
Heavenly Holland is just so beautiful. And I thought, I didn't like the stretchy, but something tells me I'm going to love the woven. So I searched up and I found I had a sling library about 20 minutes drive away. It was only a couple of minutes from my best friend's house. So I thought, right, let's give it a shot. And I packed him for up. So I've got a newborn here who's incredibly refluxy. He just screams and vomits nonstop. And we get to the venue, which was a church or a place of worship, because it was, I'm not sure what they call it. It was a Muslim community.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So I bundled him for up and we went inside. When I say bundled, it was the insert in the Ergo original. So it
Hmm.
was a
Bundling.
A
bundle.
bundle.
Yeah. It takes you about 5 minutes to get everything sorted out because it
Wee
was
sleeping
just a
bag in
faff.
there. Nice and cozy.
Aye.
Yeah. And I got in there and I walked through the door and I said, is this a sling library? And she went, yes. I said, my stretch is not working for me. I'd like to try a woven. And she looked me from head to foot and she went, we don't have anything that's going to fit you.
Oh my goodness.
You cannot wear. You're too fat to use a woven wrap.
She said that.
She said that.
I hope
Oh
she's
my
not practicing
goodness.
now.
Yeah.
Well, ironically, in the past 3 or 4 months, I've had 2 or 3 customers that have been to her and have then sought me out. And the fact that they are still saying to people you can't use woven wrap, it's like I can use a size 3. It's maybe not what I want to use or the carry I want to use, but
Yeah.
it can be tweaked to work for me.
Yeah.
That's one of the beauties of a woven wrap is that you can be a
It's
TSC,
so
which for anybody who's
versatile.
listening is
Yeah.
basically just a shoulder carry. And I mean, honest, oh my God,
And
I'm so angry for you.
Can
I
I just
just,
say that for anyone listening, if you were plus size and you come to see any of the three of us, we would never ever say anything like that to you. We will try to make anything work for you so you have something. We would never
I'm
ever send
horrified.
anyone away. I'm horrified as well. I think this will
oh,
be
at
a
this point,
off-screen chat afterwards.
I'd like to point out that I was between a 16 and an 18.
Oh my,
So,
With a
we're not
newborn
even
as well.
talking
So
I'm as large as I
postpartum.
am now. But I know that you yourself, Lorna, have, like me, been quite vocal about your mental health struggles post birth.
Mm.
As somebody with a 6-week-old baby, with hormones all over the place, with a baby that's undiagnosed medical issues,
mhm.
somebody turning around and telling me that I can't do what I want because I'm too fat is like, I truly believe that new mums are vulnerable. Their
Oh, they
mental
absolutely
health
are.
is
Extremely.
so
Extremely.
fragile. And when you have somebody look at you with such disgust and just dismiss you, if I wasn't from Northern Ireland and completely and utterly thran, that could have been really effective. That could have really, really
I mean, if that
affected
was
me.
if that was down in Glasgow, somebody might have got a boot.
Sorry,
Yeah.
just you going. If I hadn't been told from the point at which I was a child that I was useless and worthless, then I would have been upset.
Like, I'm going to
Jesus.
prove you wrong.
See,
Honestly,
that's it. That's like, I will show you.
I want to do this, and if I have to find a way, I will do it.
I, it honestly, I think we're in an industry where it's easy to forget that the families that we meet are at an extremely vulnerable point in their lives, in their not
Completely
just in
and
their
utterly.
parenting journey, but like again, I've been big my whole life, well, since I was about 15. Um, so the majority of my life has been me feeling overwhelmed by my size and being upset about it. If I went to somebody who I went and trusted to help me with something and they were like, "I'm sorry, babe, too fat, out you go," I would just be like, so not only am I struggling with my parenting, I'm also just a garbage human being. Like,
Yeah.
And as well,
um,
when after birth as well, everybody is carrying that extra weight. So if you're
yeah.
already kind of plus size to begin with, and then you have postpartum pregnancy weight on top of that, and you're feeling shit, you've not slept, and then you've got a newborn, and someone says that to you, God,
And you've probably been through your whole pregnancy being told that you're fat and therefore it's a problem. And
You're
so,
high risk, and
yeah,
yes, yeah.
on the red
mhm,
pathway because of all this and stuff, and
yeah. And
more
then you've got
higher
to get
risk of all
extra.
these things.
Yeah, and then after you have the baby, they're like, and now could you just inject yourself with blood thinners because you're still fat? Did you know?
Just for fun. Have a wee stab, wee
Yeah.
daily stab.
Honestly, I do think that sometimes people tell you you're fat and then as if it's a revelation for you.
It's like,
As if you
oh,
did not
really?
know.
Where did this come from?
What?
I was thin this morning.
Damn it!
It's like when you go into a shop and you flick through the rails and you go, oh, it's my size, and you take it off and you hold it up and you think, here, hold on a wee minute, size 10.
Yeah.
It's like, does the size 10 body come with the shirt? Because if it does, I
Yeah,
have one, thanks.
Yeah, it's
that's
honestly,
ridiculous.
it's so stressful. And I mean, for carriers, like you say, we should be able to trust that when it says it's 40 inches or 44 inches in length on the webbing, we should be able to trust that. Um, I know some carriers will do petite versions or longer versions, but again, they're just not the standard, are they? They're just not
Mm,
obvious. And again, I don't think a lot of brands use obvious plus size models in their advertising. So
yep.
it doesn't show that. And again, I was on TikTok, I saw a woman, she was 22, 24 UK size, and she was using a Tula and she was loving it. But I messaged her and I'm just like, just so you know, you've got the waist belt really tipped. You're going to find it much more comfortable if we straighten that up. You're going to get more space in your webbing, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, I didn't know. And again, so it did fit her,
Mm.
but nobody had done a
It could
fit
have been
with her to
better.
show her. Um,
Yeah.
and she was just going, oh, well, I just thought this is how it fit because I was fat. And I'm like, no, like you can still get it
Yeah.
to fit well, regardless of your
I
body shape.
find I find that those who have got a bit of a pouch or a belly or more plus size do tend to kind of put the waistband more dipped because they think that's how it will fit because of their shape. But it's possible to get it flatter and where we want it as well. But I find as well when you see with bigger, more American based brands as well, when they're using plus size models, they are like the perfect outline of a plus size model. And when I say that, I mean
Yeah.
like like
Washboard
model
stomach for a
But
face.
size
still
18.
flat, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So they've got like a bigger bust, a tiny waist, and out at the hips. That's not a plus size to me. That's curvy to me. Like I explained myself. I said to I was talking to a pal the other day, and I was like, I'm like a loaf. I'm like rectangular and fluffy. Okay, I wouldn't. I know I'm not trying to say I'm plus size. I'm more an average build, and I know that. But I am built like a loaf. So I don't see anyone my shape. Everyone is got like a nice bust and then in and then nice hips. Nobody's square. I don't see anyone who looks like it's square. And that's what I find with plus size models as well. They're very curvaceous and like as if you're drawing a cartoon, like the boobs and the hips and the belly in. So it's going to sit totally different on that kind of plus size body than a more standard plus size body that's got more weight around their middle and their hips rather than that kind of shape. Do you find
And
that or have you
also,
seen any?
why do they look like they've slept for 12 hours? That's
Because
my
it's not their
biggest thing.
babies. It's not their babies. They've
These
just come in
models
and put a
look
Babel on.
human. And it's like, this isn't reality.
No, they get the models, they get the baby. It's not always the same baby with the parent. So
Yes.
if anyone is listening and they're like, revelation, yes, so this is how modeling works for baby wearing brands. You will get a model and you'll get a baby and you'll put them together. It's not always the model's baby. And that's why it looks like they've got makeup artists and stuff with them as well. So and then the whole like filters, airbrushing and stuff. But yeah, most of the time it's not their baby, so they do get a great sleep beforehand.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, certainly for my body shape, I don't think I ever see my body shape represented because I've got a sort of bee belly. I think that's what they're calling it these days.
Yes, the
Um,
boop boop or
so
the
yeah,
triple B.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not somebody who'd be like I see a lot of people who are plus size who are like, oh, I'm quite happy in a bikini. Not me, not me.
Mm,
Um,
mm, mm.
and see if you look like me and you're happy wearing what you wear, I love that for you, but not for me personally. Um, but what would you say, Sam, about sort of body shapes and carrying? Like, what would your thoughts on the representation of it be?
It just like Lorna's just said, there doesn't seem to be the representation. I've noticed that there is a UK sling company have just released new images with a woman who I would imagine would identify herself as plus size. I hope I haven't offended her if she's listening and she doesn't identify as plus size. But just like Lorna said, she's got a perfectly flat stomach and her boobs look to be in the right place. You know, they don't look like I'm like yourself. I have the bee belly,
Mhm.
and if I'm wearing even now, he's 2.5. I still have to hike the
Aye.
waistband under my boobs. And it's when I'm dealing with clients with heavier chests as well that obviously defy gravity. So you're saying to him, no, you literally have to take your waistband, you have to hoik it right up under your boobs, let your boobs flop down on top of the waistband.
Fill the carrier.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only way you're going to get them nice and high. And then, of course, with our body shape, you don't get you see all the safety info. And it's all perfectly C-shaped spine, and baby's legs are sitting down like this. On my body shape, and I think, Gemma, you might feel the same, the legs don't sit down, they kind of sit back and kick themselves in the bum.
They do. I've got pictures of my daughter from when she was 2 days old, and I had her in a knotless double hammock, which is one of my favourite front carries to do with a short wrap. And she looks like she's at a 45-degree angle because my milk had come in, my bust was massive, I was still carrying all my pregnancy weight on top of my normal extra coziness that I carry. And she couldn't be straight up and down. And again, when my daughter's legs were spread, if I was to put her in this M shape that everybody cracks on about, everybody wants to be in the M shape, her knees just wouldn't come up because she was so tiny. She was 6'9". My bust was in the way. I couldn't get her into an M shape. So she was in what we call a J shape, which is where her knees are together and they were sort of in between my breasts. But again, she was absolutely safe. Her head was in the hard part of my chest. The fabric was no higher in the back of her neck. Her head was completely clear and free. So she was safe, but not in the shape that you will see on social media. But you have to carry for your body shape.
And remember that your baby will perfectly fit your body. It might not look exactly the same as your friend or what you've seen on brands and stuff, but your baby will safely, perfectly fit to your body. We might need to make tweaks to position and stuff. Exactly. Yeah. It's like, what are you going to do? Just you don't want, if you want to carry, you have to carry, and you have to make it work for you. What I find with people that are, especially with a bigger bust, and obviously their babies don't sit perfectly, we just have to make more allowances for ensuring that that head is not tucked in because they're not as straight, and making sure that we hands under the chin and stuff. But we would always do that anyway with anybody's baby and anybody's body, focusing on airways. But yeah, I find a lot of people will say that, oh, I can't get, or trying to do a pelvic tuck and they literally can't do it because their boobs are in the way or their tummy's in the way. And it's like, that's okay. It doesn't have to be exactly like an M, as long as we've got that ideal and the baby is supported and the airways is clear, then it's going to work for your body.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, Laurna, about it being more like gentle waves than a mountain.
Yes.
And again, like the M shape is something that we use as consultants to transfer an idea, but sometimes it's so black and white the way it's transferred that people get really dogmatic about it. And it doesn't work for plus size bodies. And again, if you're plus size, you might find that you have less hard chest that you can put your baby on because your breast tissue comes up higher.
Yep.
Or when you're
and they are under your chin.
Yes, that's it. Sometimes the carrier does
keep you cozy.
Sometimes the carrier gives you that sort of ultra lift that we in our 20s we might have paid a lot of money for a bra to
If
do.
you've got like a waistband right under there, it's like, oh, hello.
This is why I love woven wraps for the newborn stage, because you don't have that issue. But I don't know about yourself, Gemma, but I find side hip carries, due to the breast tissue practically coming past my collarbone, it's like, it's very, very tricky.
It is. I mean, anybody who's listened to me before will know my stance on a hip carry. I adore them.
Ring slings, baby.
Ring slings and TSC. Whoop whoop. I'm all about them. But it's, I mean, give me a slip knot or give me death. That's what I say. But it's very much.
I think which one's more painful. I'm not sure.
Oh, I honestly, I love a ring sling and a hip carry, but with a very small child, I do have a lot of pudge at the side from my breast,
Side
And so
boobage.
so I do need to make sure that that airway is completely clear. It's great for a
Yeah.
toddler though. Um,
Mm.
but again, the way you would carry a newborn, a toddler, a preschooler, very different, even if you are sort of an average size. But then when you're looking at plus size people, it's not something we've touched on yet, but a lot of people who are overweight, according to scales and stuff, you are the way you are, you're beautiful the way you are. But if you are carrying more weight than you want to be, there's usually some kind of health component that might come with that. So you might find that you are sorer if you carry for longer because your joints hurt a bit more. And certainly that's one of my issues, and my joints get very sore very quickly. Um, I know other people who their stamina's not great for carrying, and so they just can't carry for very long because they get tired quickly. But like you're saying, you've got several health issues yourself, which I don't know if that has related to you being plus size, because I know certainly my health issues have contributed to mine. So it is what it is, you know.
It's life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ironically, whenever my second child was born, I lost an awful lot of weight. I went to the dentist, and the dentist actually managed to tear a lot of muscle around my jaw. Yep, not a pleasant experience. I couldn't talk for about 3 weeks. It was
Have
actually
we talked about my phobia of the dentist?
sorry.
Well, there's
I
something
had
new for
to
you to be
take these
scared
out
of.
for a minute. Carry on.
And I do put it down to the fibro, meaning that my muscles and ligament, everything's a lot looser than it should be.
Mm.
And of course, I was breastfeeding as well, so let's toss in the relaxing as well.
Hmm.
And I lost a lot of weight. I physically couldn't eat. I went to the local library in Orkney and picked up the Juice Master's Juice Bible and bought a juicer because I realised it's either Slim Fast or juice. And I used to have Slim Fast at uni because Wednesdays we literally didn't have a break. There wasn't any time from
Uh-huh.
9 to 6 o'clock. They had our lectures stacked with not even 5 minutes between. And I attempted Slim Fast one day because I thought, it's calories that'll, yeah, no, not doing that one again. So
Yeah.
got the juice. I lost 30 kilo within the space
God.
of about 4 months. And
God.
my fibro has never been as bad
Really?
as it was. The pain that I was in, because I lost the weight, I felt great. So I went to the gym. And with going to the gym and overdoing everything, even though I was losing weight, losing inches, building muscle, my GP's going, "This is amazing. This is fantastic. You look at your body here, have some tramadol and keep quiet."
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no. And it's like I'm taking painkillers round the clock because I was in so much
Jeez.
pain. But see, when I stopped all the heavy workouts and everything else, now the pain, I may be bigger again, but the pain is a lot less intense than it was then.
Mhm.
And I think the worst thing, and you're going to absolutely laugh at this, I had a custom Madame Goo Goo,
Mhm.
back in the day,
Back in the day.
and it was a plus size. It had caravans on it. If I could
Nice.
find that carrier again, I would buy it in a heartbeat. It was a toddler version with a plus size waist, and I lost that much weight that it was too big,
Oh no.
and I cried.
I don't blame you.
I cried
Yeah.
because my favorite carrier that was, it was so comfortable with being larger, and it
Mm.
suddenly didn't fit. It was devastating.
That'd be so hard. Especially a favorite carrier. Like, oh,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I think
because
we often talk about growing out of carriers. We don't talk about when they outgrow us, like it's
yeah.
Yeah.
because
I know
again,
it's different when it physically doesn't fit your child anymore, but when it doesn't fit your body, that's a different kind of like, but I want to use it. Like,
yeah.
why?
I've had that go the other way as well with slings that did fit back, when I was younger with the first or second child. And
Mm,
now with child number four, they just don't look near me.
Yeah.
mm.
And
But again,
What
your
would
body
you?
changes from baby
Yeah,
one to baby four. Like
yeah,
it's not just your weight that changes, you like your
Your
organs and
body
everything move
literally,
during pregnancy. Yeah.
Yeah.
everything
It's just a bit
shuggles
bigger.
around. It's like, woo.
And like horrifying that you can grow a shoe size, like genuinely horrifying. But I mean, it's not, so it's not just that, your belly gets bigger, it's that your whole body can change proportion.
I
So
say this
it's
a
not,
lot to clients as well. Like, just because a carrier worked for your first child doesn't mean it's going to work for your second, third, or fourth child. That child is different. Your body's different. Your mobility might be different by then as well. And a lot of things might change. Do you find, Samantha, what I've found with mostly with plus size daddies or bigger built daddies, that mobility is a big problem with reaching straps and being able to fasten straps?
I'm not sure if you've watched any of my tutorials for cross straps. I always pre-buckle the first strap
Mm-hmm.
so that I can put it over my head, because see this reaching behind you business, it's never going to work with my mobility. And
Mm-hmm.
I always do up one strap, whip it on, and then you can support the weight with the other one
yeah.
and reach
Yeah.
behind you to get it, and
That's
you
what
can
I usually
flip
teach
the shoulder
pre-buckling.
about.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so much easier. And the thing is, it wasn't until I sat down myself only a few years ago and thought, right, I've got to make cross straps work. SCAP is here. We've got to figure this out. I want a quick option for just running into the shop instead of putting the size 8 woven on an Asda's car park. And like, why don't I pre-buckle? And it was, I know people use the term life changing, and you think it can't really be that amazing, love. But it was, because it suddenly opened up a whole world of carriers and
Mhm.
half buckles, because I'll even bring the half buckle across and tuck it into the waistband.
Mm-hmm.
And it opened up a whole range of carriers that I had always put off
Yeah.
with the other three, because I couldn't wear them. I'd been to another sling library, and again, just
Hopefully a
reached
nicer one.
across. Yes, much nicer
Oh
one,
no.
but just, things have evolved since then. And, I've been through training with Lorette, and
Mhm.
there's so much more knowledge available now than there was then.
Mm-hmm. But
And
still, it doesn't excuse you to being an arse.
yeah, I don't think
Yes.
Lorette could even teach that. Lovely and all as she is, if somebody's
Yeah.
inherently a
Yeah.
muppet, then you're not going to change that.
Aye. But
Do you think, sorry, do you think there's any, apart from woven wraps, um, what's your like go-to for if someone else who's plus size is coming to you? Obviously, we would find the best one, but do you find that there's maybe a couple of styles of carriers or brands that would be your kind of have a look at them first and let's go through, see if they're going to work because you know that they're plus size friendly?
There is, and I know damn fine that you already know what I'm going to say.
yeah, but we want you to say it.
Yeah, the people need to hear from you.
Little Frog have completely and utterly changed my view on cross-strap carriers.
Hmm.
I'd done a tutorial, and I just thought Ruth Grint had sent me the tester that was doing
Hmm.
the chart, and I thought I'll do a super quick tutorial. We're heading out. We were going to a local
Is it
museum.
the prime or the preschool?
It was the Prime, and
Hmm.
I got the demo doll, and I pre-clipped the strap, and I whipped it over my head, and I pulled it out to the side and went, I could fit in there again. And you can actually see in the video, I'm like, the absolute shock and elation that not only does this fit me, but I'm actually going to be able to breastfeed in it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be
Hmm.
able to move around freely. And it clipped onto the waistband. And it
Yes,
was
that's what's
like,
really nice.
oh my
Mm.
goodness, there are other carriers out there that offer these kind of features
Mhm.
if you're slimmer than I am.
Yeah.
And I can't, some carriers offer cross straps or straight straps, but for me, I can't cross them. Whereas with the Little Frog Prime, it's like there's so many different points of adjustment on it, but it fits, and it fits really, really well for plus size people. There is such a
I
length
love,
on those shoulder straps,
yeah.
yet it also fits my 11-year-old daughter who's in 7 to 8 leggings.
Nice.
It is that
Brilliant.
versatile that it fits me as a plus size person, and her as a skinny little wreck that you can see each and every rib of. It does take time to adjust between the two,
Of
but
course.
it's great, especially for people who are wanting to swap and they've got different body shapes between parents.
I do think that's a very good point because, I mean, again, I am prepared for the nuclear winter here. I'll survive. But my husband is basically a skeleton with skin. And he,
Mhm.
like, when we go between carriers, there's a lot of adjustment has to happen. But we
Yeah,
can both still fit in the same carrier. It's just, there's usually him putting it on roughly and then going, help me. And I have to go over and adjust it for him. Because never mind, I've been doing this for 8 years. He still refuses to work it out himself.
I love that I
Men.
got Gav to learn it, and now he's done the videos. So, but
But
it is
again, I think
nice to see.
yeah, I think it's an excellent point that just because you're plus size doesn't mean that you don't have other people in your family who would need to wear the carrier as well. So
Hmm.
it needs to be adjustable. Um,
yeah.
Definitely. I was going to say, when you were talking there about carriers in the prime that buckles at the waist, I find anything that buckles at the waist a really good option to try for anyone who's plus size, because if they do have a larger bust as well, then it just gives you that extra space to be able to buckle without putting any pressure on side boob or bust or at your tummy or anything. It's so nice to have that difference of a point of where the buckle goes. It just sits really, really nice. And there's quite a few of them now, which is nice that they're coming out with that option.
It
yeah,
is a fantastic idea.
I like the buckling into the waist belt. I like the Naco tiny buckles at the front underneath the bum so that
Hmm.
you cross in the back and you don't have to like you've got a male and a female so they can join together under the baby's bum. Um,
Yeah.
But again,
The
I don't know how long that webbing is, so I don't know if we're looking at it being plus size friendly. But it's a very nice feature on the carrier.
hmm
But I don't know what kind of plus size we're looking at. It might also be worth mentioning that there is, if anybody's looking to understand rough sizes of carriers, there is a chart by Baby Wearing. Oh, it's Romy. What?
Romy, Bambino Baby.
Bambino
That's
Baby, that's
one.
it.
Yes.
She has a chart that has she measures them herself, all carriers, and she'll measure the length of the waist belt and the length of the shoulders and things and the panel, and she puts it in centimeters and in inches. And she does it for every carrier she can. Not all carriers
I
are
think
there,
you
but
do
if you
that as well, Samantha, don't you? Sorry, with your
Yeah,
do,
review, you
sorry, my
you
apologies, I didn't
always
know you
add.
had one.
but I
No, I don't
also
think it's
do.
a same thing, but I think it's on your reviews, isn't it? Whenever you do a review,
I've
you put
started
measurements.
redoing it. I've done the how it fits me instead of being photographs. I've now put it into a reel. So I
Hmm.
do the total length of shoulder strap, so the total length at maximum,
Hmm.
at
Hmm.
minimum, and then whenever I'm wearing it, how much webbing I've got spare. And
Nice.
then at the end
That's
of it,
good.
there is just a quick 10 seconds with my measurements
Hmm.
so that
Hmm.
somebody else who's plus size can look at it and go, okay, my under bust measurement where she's putting that in is 5 centimeters less, but my tummy's maybe 10 centimeters bigger. So she's got on the different places in her body, okay, that is going to fit me around the waist.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
I
It's
find
really
the issue
handy.
is you look at these models and they might say,
With their
Sarah here is 5'10" and a size 16, and I'm thinking, yes, but what what is her under bust measurement? You know where the
Yeah.
carrier sits. I can't look at her and think, okay, how does that
Mhm.
relate to my body? So
Hmm.
Yeah.
having the measurements means that people are able to put it into relation to themselves.
Yeah, again, that's something that we see with the brand of bra we were talking about earlier, Milk. They do a lot of look at the size of this person, they fit our clothing. Look at this person in a wheelchair, they can use our clothing. It's
Hmm.
they show their clothing being used by real people. It would be nice if baby wearing brands would do things like that, where they would be like, this is Samantha. Her underbust is this size and she has this much webbing spare. This is wonderful, it
Hmm.
fits her. And then I, as a consumer, could go, oh, well, that will fit me. Or I go, I'm not sure. I will go to Sling
Mm.
Library and get some help and hopefully not be called fat by a librarian.
Mm. I think I've got a video as well I did a while ago, and it was showing one carrier how it fitted on different bodies. And it was quite
Yes.
funny that none of us actually liked a carrier, but how it fitted on our bodies was very different, and the different heights and widths, but showing how it's adjustable. Just because it fits doesn't mean it's comfortable, and just because it will fit is not going to mean it's the right one for you, which is really
Yeah.
important as well. So you can say, here's a carrier, this one is the best one. Obviously, we do not know there is one best one, apart from woven wraps, we can all agree.
Calm yourself.
Every time, they're the best, they're the best. So there is not one best carrier, but if there was, for example, we'd say, right, okay, this is the best one for plus size. Doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Just because it's plus size is inclusive doesn't mean it's going to be the best one or comfortable, or you will be able to use it. You might be able to get on, you might not be able to get it off, or the other way around as well. Or it might work for you with a newborn or wee baby, but as that baby grows, by the time that baby's 6 months, you're like, I can't use this carrier anymore. So it's nice to have someone to recommend. Like, I've sent people to you and saying like, okay, go and see Samantha, go watch her videos and stuff, chat to her and see what options there are, which there's more options rather than me, who I'm not plus size. I'm not going to start spouting and doing a video on like, okay, these ones are really plus size, where it doesn't look on my body, it wouldn't look like any different. So
Mm.
it's nice to have someone that's visually showing people how it looks on a different body. And I think it's really been needed in the kind of in this space in the baby wearing world, to have someone that's just been like, I mean, there is other consultants. I'm not saying you're the only one, but I think at the
Yes.
minute it's quite a focus, and you're quite kind of out there with reviewing a lot of brands and stuff, which is really cool. We might have to have a wee chat and see if there's anything that you've not reviewed. I can maybe send you some things, because I think there's some that I'd like to see your opinion on, to see what you think of as well. Some other ones that buckle under baby's bum as well, which is quite nice. Front
Mm.
ones. So I think we're going to have to like rein ourselves in and get to answering
I'm
some
so.
questions, because as always, we go off topic, we chat about everything else, and we take too long, and people are probably like falling asleep by now. Hopefully not. Wake up if you're falling asleep.
I don't know, they might listen to us because we're relaxing and they're wanting to, they've got insomnia.
Yeah,
With some
exactly.
beautiful accents, that's what it is.
Exactly. Best accents. Scottish and Irish. What else can you want? Right, let me have we look at these. Da, da, da. Okay, let's bust a myth first. You need to be a certain size to baby wear safely. No, everybody can baby wear safely. Everybody size can baby wear safely. I think we all agree on that. Okay, here's some questions that we got. So, what's the best carrier for a plus size person?
I done a post on this and I redone it not that long ago. The best carrier for a plus size person is the same as a best carrier for a non plus size person. You can wear it safely, you can wear it comfortably, you can wear it confidently.
Hmm.
And it could be the same as your non plus size friend, it might be a different one, but as long as
Hmm.
you can wear it safely and comfortably, that's your best carrier.
Best
Yeah,
answer.
exactly.
Do I get a gold
So
star?
you
Always
do.
stars.
You didn't say it depends though. It depends on you and your baby. So yes, we have agreed that there isn't a best one, but there are ones that might be more. Like there's definitely, if someone was plus size that came in for a session, there's definitely some carriers that I would not show them
Oh yeah.
because one, I
Completely.
know it's not going to be suitable, but two, I don't want to show you a carrier that's literally not going to fit in your body and then make you feel crap. So why would I show you something that I know is
Yeah.
not going to fit you? I'm not going to tell you I'm not showing you it. Because you obviously, if you come in and you don't know about slings, you don't know that, oh, you've not shown me that one. Why have you not shown me that one? Because the same, any client that comes in, I'm not going to show certain ones to certain people because I know it's not going to work for their body, whether you're plus size or not. Um, so yeah, it's important looking at the right options. Um, okay,
But that said, the little frog, Samantha's already said she loved that one.
yep.
And so that might be worthwhile if you are plus size and like I want to try something that I know has a lot of webbing that I know is going to be comfy for me. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
ask your librarian about looking at the little frog. If they don't have one in, they can always get one from Ruth. She does
Yep,
orders all the time. So um
definitely.
this is definitely something that if you are, I think, hesitant about what to try, Samantha's suggestion of the little
Mm-hmm.
frog is a great first place to start.
Especially if you have not got the confidence to go to a library session or book in for
Because it's
a
not one near
session
you.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If there's not one year, but even like booking in for an online session, if you're a bit anxious about getting that support, if you want to just go on and do a blind hire, like a lot of people do that for me, they just go on and hire things without speaking to me first, and that's absolutely fine. So if you want to do that, you can look, okay, let's go try this one. It seems like a quite good one. It's a good brand, it's a good carrier, it's got lots of webbing, it's worth a try. And if it doesn't work, then you can seek out more support, I think. Okay, here's a good one. How to deal with waist strap digging into belly. So I don't know what carrier this person's using, um, and I don't know if they're front or back carrying. I think it would probably be in a back carry, which, I mean, we all know as soon as you've got a carrier that you back carry with, you're getting the cheese grater across your belly.
Hmm.
Any tips?
Well, see, for me, back carrying, Scap was a very short, very, very short baby. So for
Mm-hmm.
me personally, when I'm back carrying him, to give you a clue, he's 2.5 and still in 9 to 12 months clothes. So he's tiny. So he
He's
needs to be
teeny tiny.
up very high. So
Mm-hmm.
I have got it literally right underneath my bust. Literally, when I mean underneath, I mean it's tweak them up, put it on, drop them down. It's right under there, so it doesn't really get the choice to rub.
Mm-hmm.
But some carriers' webbing is softer than other brands. You've got
Hmm.
different widths as well. Of course, your different styles of carrier, your apron versus your waterfall
Mm-hmm.
waistband, they're sitting in different places. Or it possibility is if it's digging in with a front carry,
Hmm.
it could be your depth of waistband.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But my suggestion, if you're finding it uncomfortable, is fit check. It's
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
always the first thing to do is get a fit check from a trained professional.
Mm-hmm. Because it could be that maybe that waistband is sitting too low and it's digging in. Sometimes just moving it like half a centimeter or so can make a big difference on where it fits on your body.
Yeah.
Could also be that it's actually too loose on your body and as a result is angling funny.
Mm-hmm.
What I've had clients want to do in the past, and also for again anybody who doesn't know, there are certain brands of carriers that have back support built into the waist belt. Now, personally, that's not for me. I despise it. Um, I hate it because I like back carrying, and the feel of it on my tummy really upsets me. But I've had success with some clients who like the back support that you can thread on, and they use that to help disperse the weight
Mm-hmm.
or disperse the feeling of digging in. What would be your thoughts on using them, Samantha?
Um, I got a Lenny Lamb preschool
Hmm.
recently, and it came with a thready on bit, as you've
Hmm.
said. But I know the carrier, the Ergo, has
Yeah.
it built in. And as I say, it's under my bust. You want to see the absolute state
Because
of
it's
me
really chunky,
trying to
isn't
do
it?
Can you
It's a
imagine trying to
massive big
that?
thing. But
Yes,
it's,
it would
I
be
find
more
as well,
comfortable.
it's kind of like a diamond kind of shape. So it's like really wide in the middle, and then you've got the webbing.
Capers.
So if you've got
Yeah.
that right underneath, then the webbing is going to sit lower. So it's not going to sit, or you're like a lot
It
people that
just
are
and
listening to this, like, what are you doing? I'm squishing my boobs right now. If you're not watching, I'm squishing right under here.
I don't have a flat stomach, like Gemma says, B shape. So, to look at me from the belly button, the waist of my trousers up, you could say, oh, maybe she's 6 months pregnant. And the thing is, the ergo doesn't sit because you've got a rounding. It's very awkward with this great big, and it is stiff. It's
It's
like having a half brick attached to the carrier. And you can't get it under your bust. And of course, with
Have
me
you
having the rounded belly,
um,
you can't get it down there either because then it just does not work. Some
it,
people have
it
done
that'd
it
be
doesn't
a
work.
no
themselves.
for those?
It does not
Have
work for
you
me.
Yeah. Have you I don't really like it either, but I don't like
But
them anyway.
for clarity, it works for a lot of people. A lot of people love it.
Yes.
Do not write it off just because we're
Yeah,
slagging it just now.
exactly.
It
A
doesn't
lot
work
of people,
for our bodies.
I know
A
a lot
lot
of
of
people that
people
do
do
love
not
it.
have my body shape. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you tried the new Tulas that have the built-in lumbar support? It's a lot smaller and it's a lot softer as well, so it's not as stiff, which is just it's kind of like that size. Again, if you're not watching, it's smaller than the Ergo one that's bigger.
we're talking about the size of an iPhone, but the looks of it, yeah.
Aye, kind
Yeah.
of. Maybe a wee bit bigger, a wee bit wider. But I find that that's nicer because it's a wee bit more moldable. It doesn't dig in,
I
as much.
haven't
So
tried it, but again, I got the Lenny Lamb, and the first thing I did was rip the lumbar support off
those
because
ones are
as
really, really soft though. I feel that they just kind of roll and then
Mm.
dig more.
but the issue is, as I say, I wear my back, the waistband for a back carry is I'm wearing a milk bra. You both wear milk
Yeah.
bras yourselves. It
It's the
sits
waistband,
on
Oh,
the way the
the
waistband, the
band,
bottom band of the milk.
mhm.
the
So you
bust
can
band.
imagine where that sits underneath my,
Yes.
if
Yeah,
I
you
have
don't
got
want any
anything
extra
under,
bulk.
it just folds itself in like a piece of A4 paper. I literally took it out of the bag and went, well, that's going to, disfigure by the time I've worn it. So let's not try that. It's going to work for a lot of people, but a lot of people, as I say, do not have my body shape, and that's great for them.
Mhm. But
Yeah.
there are people who do have your body shape, and they should also have carriers that they're able to feel confident and
And
fabulous in.
comfortable, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like you shouldn't have to make do just because it's the only carrier you can find. Like you're saying that you struggle with cross straps, or you did struggle with cross straps.
Yeah.
Just because if you struggle that, or if you didn't know, like before you know how to pre-buckle, that meant that you had to just manage with straight straps, which might not have been as
Yes.
comfortable for you. And
Which
that's
I
not
did for 3 children.
Mm.
Yeah, but that's not inclusive. That's not supportive enough. We need to be able to show that there is other options and show how to make it work. And now you know that that's an option, then you can show kind of more people as well. But it's just because one way doesn't work doesn't mean you're just stuck with the one way that's not as comfortable.
I
Mm.
did approach a brand. I was doing how it fits when I was doing the old photographs.
Mm.
And it's one of those ones that, you have to breathe in to clip it up.
Ugh.
Mm.
Really, really breathe in. And you're thinking, if I breathe out, this carrier's just going to go ping. So I commented that it would be great to see it with a bigger waistband, to which the manufacturer replied, we do extenders. And I'm like, it's absolutely great that you do extenders, fabulous, but I want it to
Yeah.
be inclusive in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't
Hmm.
want to have to go out and buy the fat strap.
Hmm.
I don't want that feeling. People don't want
No.
that feeling.
No.
And
No.
what's making it an extra 6 inches longer, to which the majority of the market has already done?
Yeah.
But what
I
is,
think
well, sorry, on you go.
I was just gonna say I think you cannot overstate how challenging it is as a plus size person to have to constantly be like, I need the fat strap. You know, I
Yeah.
Mm.
I I can't go into Asda and get a pair of trousers because they just don't go up to my size. Or I mean I can, but even then I'm sitting going, my options are skinny jeans and they make me want to rip my legs off. So in order for
They're
me to
too
get a
much
pair,
effort to put on.
honestly, who's got the time? But I mean,
Need some talc
if
down there.
I'm like Ross from Friends at that point, you know, there's a lotion situation. It's formed a paste. But oh, I'm aging myself.
We all are.
But very much like it does things to me having to go shopping for clothes. It genuinely affects my mental health. And I think the last thing we should be doing to parents who are in the postpartum phase of their life is to make them feel like they, you know, well, oh well, I can only get the fat carrier. And for anybody who can't see, I'm using inverted commas. We've got bunny ears on the go. Um, because again, like we were talking about woven wraps, people think, well, I'm plus size, I'll need a 10. No, you don't. You do not need a 10. You might like a 10. You might
Mhm.
find it more comfortable. It might give you the option to do the fancy finishes and make you feel, you know, beautiful and sexy and all that kind of thing. But, you know, you might be able to manage fine with a 3, and the 3 might be the one that you want and need and use more. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think we can underestimate the effect that this has on mental health by saying, well, just buy the extender. You know, it's not
Yeah.
good.
It's, I always think when it comes to everything, it's about choice.
Hmm.
And we should have choices no matter what our body size and shape is. We should have the same number of choice that somebody 3, 4 sizes smaller or bigger has.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I agree.
Definitely. Here's one more question, and I've actually had this as well from another plus size mum, especially in that kind of postpartum when obviously you get those horrible hot flushes postpartum as well. When you're plus
Oh,
size, you kind of you're obviously you make more heat. You tend to be a bit warmer and cozier. How do you keep cool and keep baby cool when carrying when you tend to be hotter and sweatier and more kind of flushed?
okay. For those of you that don't know, I'm actually the carrier of a genetic fault. My son has got a condition called X-linked ichthyosis. I am the carrier. So he cannot shed his skin. He doesn't produce the sulfatase that causes the skin to shed. So he can overheat. He cannot control his body temperature the way you and I can. He cannot sweat because of his skin.
Wow.
Right.
I am the carrier, and there is scientific research out there that backs up the fact that we do overheat very easily and very quickly ourselves.
Hmm.
Um, I had to buy a baby wearing coat whenever Scappa was of the age of winter's coming. And I had the realization, I went and I bought the coat. I drove to Love to Be Natural because I didn't want them to post it. So I drove there and we got it. They had it in stock. He said, "You're very lucky. Sometimes we don't have them in stock." And I'm like, "But it said it was in stock on the website." And Colin said, "Yes." So that was all fine. I got the coat, I came home and I walked through the door and I said, I went up and I got the coat from Ocker. And my husband looked at me and he went, "Well, we've been together, what, 15 years? And that's the second coat I've seen you buy. Are you actually going to wear this one?" Because the other one was
I do think, like, over last winter, I did see a lot of your pictures and you're just in a t-shirt.
yeah, that is me. It is just, it was snowing and I was standing in the car park taking a picture. Everybody's going on about layering and sharing your infographic, Lorna. And I'm like, if I put on a jumper, a coat, plus the woven wrap and everything else, I'd be dead on the floor. When it comes, it doesn't matter whether it's hot weather or cold weather. I always say that the important thing is You need to be responsive. You need to be keeping an eye on your little one and responding to what they do.
Mhm.
I recently, and by recently I do mean just over this summer, have discovered the Little Frog linen line,
Mhm.
Mm.
and I can actually hold their linen carrier up and see through it. It is that thin and breathable, but you lose none of the support.
Mhm.
Mm.
So it's moisture wicking, it's cool. So for me, there is, in the heat wave, I do wear as little clothing as socially acceptable when I leave the house.
As you
And
should.
I have
Yeah.
even bought myself a Shark portable fan that I take around with me, especially to sling libraries when you're teaching people how to wrap. And
It's a sweaty business for
my
anybody.
portable fan is life. And it is about keeping yourself cool. One of the tricks I learned actually from my son's consultant is ice packs into, we call them Oxters. Lorna will get this. I'm not sure about you,
And
Gemma.
your
Oh, yep, yep,
oaksters.
yep.
Aye,
An
we're
Oxford.
all oaksters here.
Yeah.
For
So
anyone listening and does not understand, oaksters is the term that we use for armpits, which just
Aye.
doesn't sound as good.
no. So an ice pack in each Oxter, and that cools you down quite quickly.
Aye.
But if you are keeping, you know, I always say carry your layers. Scapple
Mhm.
was an April baby, and I think it was January before I bought my jumper.
Yeah.
Whenever they're in a carrier, especially a woven wrap, you've got 3 layers of, in our case, it was cotton and cashmere. It was lovely,
Mm.
thick, soft, and just scrummy. But as long as you're keeping an eye on them and responding to their temperature, a quick hand down the back
Mhm.
to see how
Mhm.
they're doing and go from there. Because, as I say, you've got your infographic, Lorna, which for some people is going to work great. For you, seems to
Mhm.
work perfectly. For me, it would probably kill me. And
Yep.
everybody
Well, no,
and
it just
every
does say
baby is
layers
different.
work. Yeah, it will depend on you as well. So I usually say that as well. If you are more of a hot-blooded, warm, sweaty person, then less layers is always more. Have something that you can put on. So for if you know that you're a hot person, you're not going to put a jumper on before you put a sling on because then if you walk 5 steps and you're sweating buckets, you can't take that jumper off without taking baby off first. So cardies and layers and things you can put on top, then you can easily take them off or just carry them with you as well. Just because it's good to have layers doesn't mean that could be 1 layer or it could be 5, depending on you or baby. But that's good.
It's
That's good
easily
tips.
removable layers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's it.
Nice
I've got
light
a picture
layers.
of me with my daughter, and it was the height of summer, and like I say, my joints are bad because I've got hypermobility, and so my shoulders were completely gone because of the heat, so I couldn't take any weight on my shoulders. I was too hot. Everything was miserable. She was just cutting about in a nappy, and I had a pair of dungarees and a bra on. That was it. That was already too many clothes. And I had her in a torso wrap around my chest, and I was just like, nobody touch me, nobody come near me. I couldn't put weight on my shoulders. Everything hurt. I was sticky. I had a cold cloth that I kept putting in between me and her on my chest to try and cool us both down a wee bit. Again, I think actually the wrap I used had cashmere in it, but that was just because it was the one I could get to hand. But again, don't always write off wool, I would say, because some wools are actually really
Yep.
good at pulling the heat out of you.
Hmm.
So they're not always. Don't look at wool carriers and think, oh, definitely not, only a wintertime thing. No, no, no. Sometimes very good for summer.
Yes.
Merino wool especially is very light and breathable.
I
Um,
think as well, like if you like we talk about a lot in summer carriers, ones with mesh, ones with linen, ones that are lighter, tend to be less padded and stuff. If you are a warmer person, then a summer carrier or a light
Is
carrier
your
is going to
winter
be a great
carrier?
option. Exactly. That's your
Yeah.
all year round carrier. Like a mini monkey full buckle, that's just pure mesh. That could be ideal. Yeah.
if it fits
So
you.
Yeah, exactly. If it fits you, um, then that's going to be a good option. Or any lighter ones or ones with mesh or zip away panels, then look at something lighter.
But yeah, I would think that top tip for this episode clearly is that if you are plus size and you're not sure where to start, you're going to jump onto Samantha's social media, which we will link in the show notes, and you're going to go and have a look at her videos. You're going to see sort of how things look. I'm sure she'd be happy to answer any questions if you popped her a message. And same
They
with
can't see me nodding, can they?
no, but I will tell them she's nodding.
She is nodding. She is nodding. We always
approves
forget.
this
We're
message.
like, for those who are just listening, yes, she agrees. She's not shaking her head.
She's well, quite frankly, I would tell you she agreed even if she wasn't, Liz. It's my show. I can do
Go
what I
ask
like.
her. Don't ask us. Ask her.
But again, you can always pop us a message and ask questions, or again, go see your local sling librarian. It's a really good first option. If, like Samantha, though, you have a bad time at your sling library, do not hesitate to reach out to another consultant. We'd be delighted to help you. And certainly, if you approach somebody like Sam who has lived experience of this, you're going to get a more well-rounded answer because she's going to be able to say, I've tried that one. I thought I would claw my eyes out wearing it, so be careful there.
She's making yucky faces. We need like a wee subtitle, like, captions at the end.
Samantha,
and now
show your
Sam is
emotions.
curling her nose and going, bleh. Right. Well, we have, as usual, blethered for a long time. So if you do have any questions after listening or watching us having a giggle, going off topic and talking about everything else under the sun, then please drop us a question after this video and on the videos as well on the socials. All the information is going to be there, and if you need anything, just get in touch. So thank you so much, Samantha. This has been really fun and hopefully informative for anyone listening. You got anything else to say?
No, I think that's it.
It's a first. We're going to have a good chat now afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, we will see you on the next episode, and yeah, catch you later. Bye.
Bye.